Hello again, fellas. This is going to be a recap of Into the Abyss Franchise Opportunities Session 4, which I have dubbed Spluginator. I am back, bitches. This session we're starring Bryn, Grelnar, Helmet, and a new and improved Splug, along with Varda. And so in the last session, Splug was technically in the throes of death, making death saving throws, when a ghostly image of a giant goat head appeared over his dying body, and then Splug disappeared. So the group was taking a short rest in a hallway just down the room from all the swarms of severed feet when they noticed something moving down the hallway. And after a few minutes, they finally realized there was a giant minotaur coming towards them, but with the voice of Splug. That's right, Splug is back, and he is a minotaur from, well, I guess we don't really know who brought him back, but it's a pretty good idea. He now has a shield with a goat head emblem on it, so you guys do the math. But anyway, Splug is back. No longer a goblin, he is now a mighty warrior minotaur.
You know what? If I could give you an inspiration card, Brian, I would.
And that didn't take that. Just we worked out a deal where he's now no longer a rogue. He's now a big guy that likes to hit stuff, so maybe that'll work out better for him in the long run. And so, after getting reacquainted with the new and improved Splug, they made their way down the corridors into the giant sarlacc of poo.
Does it have to be human? Does it have to be mine? Where am I supposed to get it? Feed me, Seymour.
To which they proceeded to kind of bash down some of the tentacles as they reached out and grabbed some of them and tried to pull them in, but they never actually succeeded in pulling them into the center here. But in the end, they were able to basically shoot past it. I think they did destroy all the tentacles, and then basically it sucked all the nasty sewage poo stuff into the center of it, and then puked it all back up. And I think Varda was the only one unfortunate enough to get kind of some of the poo splashed onto her, but they continued making their way deeper into the dungeon beyond the big sarlacc of poo. So the group finally found this last room here, had an altar on one side of the room, and they found a woman lying in the corner, not lying, standing in the corner, but she was unresponsive. But she was dressed in the fashion of the Telephone City Watch, so they assumed it was Captain Tish. They had found her. They walked up to her, tried talking to her a little bit, but again, just didn't quite have the reaction they were looking for when they tried to approach her.
You like me a little bit?
No, I don't even like you a little bit.
Come on, girl, you like me a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Wait, don't you like me a little bit?
Why don't you understand? I don't like you. Oh.
Hey, girl, you like...
So, that failed. So she pulled out her sword, and they started to fight. Fortunately for them, or for her maybe, they did not kill her. So they were able to cast Hold Person, a few other grappling techniques to get her out of there. But the whole time while this was happening, there was a giant articulating hammer that went all over the room and was basically attacking anybody that came close to the altar, anybody that touched or did anything aggressive towards the Captain Tish. But they eventually smashed the hammer into 1,000 pieces, and they realized that once they got her out of the room, that whatever control the altar had on her was no more. Gorko also recognized his former boss, Kerharn the dwarf, smashed and dead in front of the altar, along with bits and pieces of some kind of a contraption that Gorko said was the reason why Kerharn was here. He wanted to bring this piece of whatever it is to this somewhere in here to have it destroyed. And so they assume that that's what this altar was for. They end up smashing the altar into small pieces, and it stopped attacking them. And then they took the Ori with them and back out of the fissure or the underground below Telflum. And so, as they exited the fissure, the new Splug, had Gorko's old boss's body carrying in his hands, but on the way out, they came across a trapped little brass dragon wormling. I think in the recap, I previously said it was green. That's incorrect. It was a little cute little brass dragon wormling. And then they all fell in love, I do believe.
Aww, isn't it cute? Hello.
And of course, now they may have a new little NPC to join them back in their keep, because the dragon's name was Dabshaba, and she shared that she had actually been chased here by a giant green dragon into the underbelly of Telflum and was hiding and got trapped here. When these mine mantles started to attack her, that's when you guys showed up, took care of the mine mantles, and freed her. She is going to sneak back out through the fissure somewhere back into the Sea of Fallen Stars, and she told you that she would meet back with you guys back at your keep to repay you for saving her. Okay, so you guys left the fissure with no more encounters on your way out, and made your way to the local watering hole or tavern to kind of celebrate your success and figure out what you want to do next. And so after Splug and Gorko took Keirhorn's body to the local Morden temple to prepare him for his final journey to Morden's Forge, they all met back at the Sword and Horn, a favorite watering hole of Gorko's, where they toasted to Keirhorn and those that had fallen and celebrated their victories. And while their cups were going dry, being filled back up again, they did learn a few rumors within the confines of the Sword and Horn. First one was that an adult green dragon had been seen flying near the city, and Dabshaba was the one that mentioned that she was actually running from this dragon. A foot fetish serial killer was on the loose somewhere to the north. Bad blood amongst nefarious guilds of Telflum since acquisitions showed up had been kind of tearing the town up for good and for bad. A famous actor had gone missing after finishing a recent theatrical performance. There was a crying statue at Castle Belindre, and there was also a failed assassination attempt on a noble, and supposedly there was a reward for their capture. So before they head back to Deflorio Keep, the group decided they wanted to look into the whole reason behind the Shadowmaster and 9 Golden Sword guilds kind of fighting with each other and see what they could do for that. So as they discussed that, Gorko was approached by a former acquaintance within the Sword and Horn, and that is where we'll pick up in the next session.